So we had a pretty eventful day today on the farm. We had our first set of triplets of 2022. So I was walking out to the truck this afternoon to go down and do my feeding down at the bank barn, and I thought I heard a young lamb, and I'm like, man, that sounds a lot younger than the lambs we have out in the barn right now currently. So I came out and looked, and sure enough, one of our ewes had her first lamb. She was in labor with the second. I could see a face, but I couldn't see any feet, so I got her put in a lambing jug with her lamb that she had already had. I ended up helping pull the second lamb, and as I was pulling that one, the third one just followed it right on out. The second one was a pretty big sized lamb compared to the other two. She ended up having 2 ram lambs and a ewe lamb. So there's one of the ram lambs laying there. Here's the other bouncing around, and then that's the middle lamb. That's the lamb that I had to end up pulling that was kind of blocking everything. You can see her size compared to the other two. The big one there is the female. She's a pretty good sized lamb. But the mom has been up licking the lambs, taking care of them. She has plenty of milk. I checked her. They've all been up moving around. So what we want to do now is get in there, clip their navel, spray that area with iodine, give them some of that lamb paste that we give to all our lambs. But on this group, we're going to supplement a bottle of colostrum just because we have it. And to help this ewe out, we're going to leave the lamb in there with her, all 3, to see how she handles it. She has a lot of milk. She's a big size ewe. So we're just going to test out. It's not going to get too cold. We're going to see how it goes tonight before we actually end up having to pull one of the lambs maybe. We're going to try to see if she's able to handle it with us just supplementing a bottle here in the pen. So those triplets are taken care of. None of them really seem to really want the milk all that much. Their mouths were already warm. I noticed they're up underneath of her. She's licking on them. They're really walking around her looking for milk right now especially. I know each of them got just a little bit of that. They're a couple hours old, so they really probably won't drink too much. I'm still going to offer them a bottle again in the morning over the next few days, just trying to supplement them, just helping out that ewe and also making sure that they're getting enough nutrients. Now the next thing I need to do tonight, we have this ewe right here still in the lambing jug. The reason for that being she started limping the other day. We just treated her, kept an eye on her. I checked her foot out, really didn't see anything, saw just a little tiny cut, nothing around it. We talked to the vet. Vet said check for some hoof rot possibly. We haven't had a problem with any hoof rot for the last couple years, so I went ahead and trimmed up her hoof a little bit. Didn't see anything there that I was used to seeing. We had the vet come out because she had some time that day, because one of these ewes, this one actually laying right there, started limping yesterday morning. So the vet came out yesterday. She started trimming on the hooves a little bit, and they found a couple of abscess. This ewe has one in her foot. This ewe has one in her foot. So I need to give them a shot tonight in their neck. So we're going to just grab a hold of them and give it to them. I think it's over the next couple of days. We need to treat them. So I was able to give both ewes their shot for the night. The one ewe ran over and just basically stuck her head in the corner, and that's where I caught her at. But while I was getting this ewe that just had the triplets set up with water and hay and everything, I noticed a couple of these older lambs were sticking their head into the jug, kind of going after her udder, just basically trying to steal some milk, and she didn't really like that. And so I wanted to make sure that she was able to take care of those lambs, so I stuck a piece of roof that I had on there. It's plastic roofing off one of the old chicken tractors. So I got it wired up on there basically just to block those lambs from getting their head through. But I've seen these new triplets come underneath her, get some milk. So what we're going to do basically is just check back on them again in the morning, try to offer them a bottle then and see what happens. So we're back, it's the next morning. That ewe seemed to be taking pretty good care of her triplets. I checked them on the cameras a couple times overnight and everything seemed fine except for at 5 a.m. That ewe was up making some commotion. So I just went ahead and ran out here, checked on her, and what happened is the smallest of the triplets actually squeezed through the pen. He was in the pen with the other lambs, so I ended up just putting him back in. She started checking him out, making sure that he was okay, and I just went ahead and fed everybody then. But what I'm doing now is giving everybody a little extra hay. I'm going to give her some hay, and I'm going to go in and just see if any of the lambs want a bottle, and I'm going to check their mouths to see if they have a warm mouth. So all those lambs had warm mouths. We know they've gotten milk from their mother. Went in there just to kind of see if they wanted anything off the bottle. None of them really latched onto it or attacked it like what we've seen lambs that wasn't getting enough milk do before. They just kind of passively, drank a little bit of milk and forgot about it. So we're just going to keep an eye on them, but they're acting pretty good for just being 12 hours old. They're acting basically like a normal lamb would. Another reason why I like to give a little bit of extra hay here on Saturday mornings, we're going to be leaving for the farmer's market in about 45 minutes. This way I can get a good look at all our ewes and see if any one of them's basically starting labor or anything like that. Get a good look at them just to see which ones might be coming up in the next day or two, because right now we're getting ready to start this second wave of lambing. So today we're going to start off, we got our tags in, we got everything marked on them for our identification. This way we can start tagging the lambs that we've had over the last few weeks. Recently it's been pretty easy to tell them all apart because they all kind of have a little bit of an individual look, especially with the way their tails are. But as the lambs start getting bigger, these tags will be important to help keep them separated and identified. And these ear tags that we're putting in today are a little bit different than the ones we've used in the past. Before, we've used our USDA flock number ID tag. Well, these tags, we're able to just make our own markings on them, and that way we're just able to use them for our own farm records and don't have to use our USDA tags on them. Basically what they look like. This year we went with a 2201, for example, and that just means that it's the year 2022 and it's the first lamb born. And so we just got them in order like that, and we'll make them up as we need them. So that's a really easy job to do, and it really helps us out in the long run. As these lambs start growing and we start feeding them out, we like to keep the rams and the ewe lambs separated. And by tagging them, this helps us also. In all the ram lambs, they'll have a tag in their left ear, and all the ewe lambs will have one in their right. That way it's just easy to look out across these pens and make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be and nobody jumped out of one pen and jumped into another. So when I came in and checked on those triplets last night, after I gave everybody hay, they seemed to have been doing pretty good. They all had warm mouths, but the smallest, that was the third born lamb, just seems a little bit sluggish. So we gave it, and it drank a good bit of colostrum milk replacer last night. This morning, when I came out to check them, I noticed that it was kind of favoring its front left leg, not really wanting to use it. So I gave it another bottle of colostrum milk replacer. Wanted to watch it kind of throughout the day to see how it was progressing. It's still really favoring that leg, but it's getting up. It's getting milk from the ewe. I've watched it get milk from her a couple times now that I've been out here in the barn tagging these lambs. What we want to do is pull it out of the pen right now, wrap its front leg up with some vet wrap, kind of make it like in a cast, just to kind of see if it uses it any better, see if it starts getting a little bit better on its own over the next 12 to 24 hours. That way we kind of know what we need to do and call a vet in to see if she'd be able to tell us what's wrong with it. So I got my empty roll of vet wrap right here. We're going to use it kind of as the base of the cast. We're going to wrap the leg in some vet wrap that we have right now, put this over that, and then wrap this with some black vet wrap. That way it doesn't stick out too much in any bright colors, draw any more attention to it, because I notice a lot of times if you come in the barn with bright colors on or anything like that, these sheep really get alert and kind of get a little spooked, and we don't want that to happen. I've seen a lot of other sheep producers on YouTube vlogs that I watch. This is what they do, so we're going to give it a try.
I think it's his knee. Maybe. Can you work it? Maybe it is the shoulder.